Have you ever noticed someone who, whenever they're stressed, just goes and washes dishes or cleans the house, while the majority consider cleaning to be torture? For a group of people, that's when they feel most at peace. People often label them as fussy or nitpicky. But the truth is much simpler. They don't clean the house because they're afraid of dirt. They clean to maintain a quiet space for themselves amidst an overly chaotic world out there. Today, let's explore together, behind those hands that love to clean, what kind of soul truly exists. There's a truth like this: life is an extremely difficult entity to please. Many people look at you and me, seeing us diligently wiping each bookshelf or rearranging spice jars when stressed. They'll click their tongue, making things up. Wouldn't that time be better spent resting? They call it excessive perfectionism, even obsession. But they don't know that's how we're reestablishing sovereignty. Your mind is like a web browser with hundreds of tabs open simultaneously. Each tab is a worry rent, promotion pressure, a malicious comment on social media. These tabs drain all energy and make our brains sluggish. At that moment, cleaning is like a miraculous mute button. When I pick up an item and place it in the right position, I'm sending a very strong signal to my brain that, hey, no matter how chaotic things are out there, here, I'm still the one making decisions. For you, cleaning is like cleaning the inner space. When a room is messy, it's very hard for us to think anything profound. Physical messiness creates visual disturbances, leaving the mind no empty space for creativity. I always believe that every square meter of clean floor is a square meter of bandwidth freed up for the soul. When I wipe away the layer of dust on the desk, I'm essentially brushing away the foggy clouds in my own thoughts. But from a deeper psychological perspective, there are people who, even as children, knew how to arrange toys neatly without anyone telling them. That's because they possess the careful gene and extremely high responsibility. In psychology, we call these people those with innately high levels of conscientiousness. Just imagine, their brains are like a camera with extremely high resolution. While others look at a room and just see the room, they see every pixel, every speck of dust, every misalignment. On the other hand, there's the type of person who is neat because of pressure. Those who were raised by extremely strict fathers and mothers about cleaning. This habit seeps into them to the point of becoming a natural reflex. Later, when they grow up, even though no one reminds them anymore, their parents' voice still echoes in their heads. They clean because that's the only living standard they know. Neatness at this point is like inheriting a legacy, a way they preserve the family values that nurtured them. But there's another extreme that's equally interesting. There are people who like cleaning because they grew up in a house that was too messy or lacked attention. As children, they couldn't change the adults' messiness. They felt powerless and insecure. So when they had their own home, they began to rebel against that past by keeping everything perfect. Each time they hold a broom, it's like they're telling the child inside them, "Don't worry. Now, we have control. Things will never get messy again." Cleaning at this point is a way for them to compensate for past deficiencies, turning their current home into a peaceful and orderly fortress, completely different from what they experienced. Sometimes, people who love cleaning, often misunderstood as those who are too clean obsessed, are actually practicing a subtle exercise in decision-making capacity. In a world where people always advise us to strive to have more, cleaning is a courageous journey to filter again. It's not simply the act of throwing away, but a process of refining life values. In psychology, people who like cleaning often possess an extremely good filtering ability. They're not people who lack emotion. On the contrary, they understand very clearly the value of prioritization. You see, trash is essentially things that have lost their use value but are still taking up space in our lives. People who like cleaning view sending an old broken item out of the house, the same way they decisively end a toxic relationship or abandon a negative thought that has taken root too long. When you clean, you're performing a ritual of parting with the past, knowing that what's broken should be fixed. And if it can't be fixed, it must be let go to make room for better things to come. This is an extremely decisive type of person. They rarely fall into states of anguish or belated regret. Living for the present and future, considering neatness as a way to keep the soul always light, not held back by piles of trash emotions. For you, letting go isn't loss, but liberation to be freer. Responsibility here isn't something grandiose, like saving the world, but it starts from responsibility for the things you own. They feel an invisible connection with objects. If a faucet is leaking or a shirt is thrown about carelessly, they feel like they're in debt to that space. They don't clean for anyone to see, but clean to satisfy the rightness inside themselves. For this type of person, neatness is part of personal honor. If their life is a book, they don't allow even the smallest typo. This gene makes them extremely reliable people. Because a person who has responsibility for a doormat will certainly have responsibility for much greater things. Those who find joy in order understand that if we don't decisively choose what belongs to us, then nowhere things will choose us. Do you see? People who know how to clean are usually people who know very clearly what they want. The decisiveness in sorting objects is decisiveness in thinking. I believe that a person who can bravely throw away an expensive shirt that's no longer suitable will also be someone with enough backbone to step out of a toxic relationship or a job that has stifled their creativity. For some people, messiness doesn't bother them because their minds thrive in creative chaos. For others, even a small pile of papers is like a heavy cloud. Both are reasonable. Both are human nature. The difference lies in what your brain and heart need to feel stable. Additionally, there's an emotional history behind this. People who grew up in unstable families, where emotions were unstable or boundaries were unclear, often find comfort in physical order. When the space around us becomes minimalist and purposeful, our inner voice becomes clearer than ever. We're no longer distracted by temporary things. A good cup of coffee needs a good filter. Without a filter, you'll have to drink the bitter grounds. Cleaning is exactly that filter. It keeps the most refined flavor of reality and lets the excess flow away. I often see my friend has a habit of filtering and sorting photos every month as a routine, selecting what truly nourishes the soul and being brave enough to let faded things recede into the past. That's a great psychological exploration. We clean so as not to be overloaded by our own history. When you and I free up physical space, we're indirectly freeing the emotional debts we unconsciously carry. Each square meter of empty floor is a square meter of new freedom. Each shelf you arrange, each drawer you clean, each space you create quietness, all reflect the feeling you want to have inside. Peaceful, serene, purposeful. If you think about it, a home is an emotional ecosystem. It contains your moods, memories, and energy. So when you clean, you're not just adjusting the environment but also resetting your emotional atmosphere. A good gardener doesn't just plant flowers, but most importantly must know how to pull weeds and clear space so flowers can grow. Cleaning is how we create empty ground so new ideas, creative emotions, and clarity can sprout. We don't accept messiness because we don't accept superficial living. Knowing what you need, what you want, and what to keep is a type of quiet strength. It helps us not be swept away by fleeting trends or unreasonable demands from the outside world. The person who cleans is the person who knows how to turn house into a true safe zone, where each object is an affirmation, this is me, and I know where I am. There's a question I often ask myself, and perhaps you or they have also wondered, why do we keep cleaning? Even knowing dust will stick again. Things will be disrupted again tomorrow. The answer lies at a very deep level of awareness about kindness. We, people who love neatness, don't clean to reach an eternal destination. We clean because we love the process of caring. In psychology, this is called the concept of the nest builder. A home isn't just a place to shelter from rain and sun. It's an entity that needs to be nurtured. When I wipe clean the watermark on the table, when you patiently remove hair strands caught on the carpet, or when they meticulously rearrange the family medicine cabinet, that's when we're saying a wordless thank you. Instead of just saying thank you verbally, you and they choose to express it through our hands. We don't view objects as unconscious tools. We view them as companions worthy of kind treatment. It's like the way a mother strokes her child's messy hair, or the way an artist cherishes their instrument. When you and I wipe away a stain on glass, we're not just cleaning, we're comforting the living environment. Like a woman applying makeup or a painter creating art. They're decorating their home. Each act of vacuuming, rearranging a vase brings them visual and tactile satisfaction. Cleaning is exactly an exercise in cultivating inner resilience. Do you agree with me that people who like cleaning are often the most stubborn before storms? Life always tends to become chaotic. Everything tends to fade, break, and get messy over time. And people who don't mind cleaning are people going against the flow of that chaos. Life can knock me down, can disrupt all your plans, can take away their faith. But because we're used to facing the wreckage after a party, or the chaos after a project, we have a spiritual belief that everything can be rearranged. We're not afraid of falling apart, because we know how to mend. We're not afraid of beginnings, because we practice it every morning by the sink. This is exactly the greatest exploration. People who like cleaning aren't people afraid of messiness, but people with enough backbone to face and transform it. Society often praises brilliant achievements, but you and I understand the beauty of silent maintenance. A glorious life is often built on the most tedious habits. We clean to protect the purity of the soul from the dust of laziness and superficiality. When you and I choose not to compromise with a dirty kitchen corner, we're also implicitly declaring we won't compromise with a mediocre life. Neatness is exactly soft discipline. It seeps into thinking, helping us handle crises in work and emotions in an orderly, calm manner like how we sort objects. Have you noticed, when you clean a shared space, the mood of people around also calms down? Other family members may not say it, but they feel that care. Cleaning is the most silent love language in the world. We create a good environment so the people we love can thrive. That's the highest empathy. We clean not just for ourselves, but for us. You understand. Life doesn't need to be overly dramatic. Just each small moment, each kitchen corner carefully tended to. Then naturally, life will become valuable. While most of us feel drained when having to do housework, these people recharge from exactly that. They have a strange vision, can see through the mess to foresee the beauty of neatness about to appear. For them, cleaning is to create positive, empty spaces, not lonely emptiness, but empty ground so new ideas and emotions have a chance to sprout. They don't chase what's flashy. They find supreme value in super small details. Because they understand that life is essentially a collection of millions of small moments we arrange kindly. A clean house is exactly a temple of the soul. When reality is too harsh, creating a clean space zone is how they comfort themselves, create fairness and goodness for themselves. Some people clean to find old memories. Some clean to release pressure. And some clean just to throw away unnecessary burdens to be free. In the end, whatever type it is, rearranging a drawer or cleaning a window pane is exactly when we're caring for our soul. To know that we're still living, still cherishing ourselves, and still have the power to make things better from the simplest things. In how they treat the world and people around them. These people are often the most silent pillar. They're not good at saying cheesy words. Their love language lies in their hands. Instead of promises, they choose to wash clean the sun-scented blanket for you, reorganize your messy wardrobe, or prepare a meal when they see you're tired. For them, care is concrete action. Sometimes they may nag because you're messy, but that's because they so treasure the shared space and want to protect that peace for everyone. They treat old items or a corner of the house as affectionately as they treat people, always wanting everything to be put in its right place and have its inherent value treasured. There are people born already carrying that neat nature. For them, a tidy desk is like a highway without traffic jams, helping the brain run faster, process work smoother. Conversely, there's also the type of person who went through many problems, then gradually became neat. Like learning something, time is precious. We no longer have enough patience to dig through piles of stuff just to find a key. Cleaning at this point is a way for us to eliminate noise, keep life most streamlined to save energy for greater things. It's a mature wisdom. The simpler, the happier. I believe that in modern life, we often have to wait too long to see results. You study for years to hold a degree, work all month to receive salary, or invest all year to see profit. This waiting easily discourages us. But cleaning is completely different. It's immediate reward. You only spend 30 seconds wiping clean a glass, dusty and dim, and the result is what shine appears right before your eyes. This done feeling stimulates the brain to release dopamine, a type of happiness hormone, extremely powerfully. Never mistake people who like cleaning with perfectionists or control freaks. Truly neat people are usually very proactive and never force others to do like them. They understand that cleaning is their personal need. It's how they love themselves. So they don't use it as a weapon to judge or demand people around them. Instead of sitting and nagging at lovers or children to clean this and that, they'll quietly do it themselves. They don't demand gratitude or praise, because the very process of cleaning and its results are already the greatest reward for them. They respect others' space but are extremely serious about their own space. This proactivity creates a very pleasant energy for those living together. They don't create pressure. They only create neatness. They're people with high self-respect and extremely independent. They believe my work. I do it. And this very self-discipline is the greatest mirror that makes others voluntarily want to live better by example. They don't force you to be neat. They just make you feel that living neatly is truly wonderful. Actually, if you remove the boring housework label, you'll see that arranging or cleaning everything is actually more wonderful than we've always thought. Consider it a choice for yourself to actively relax. You don't need to clean for anyone. Just clean for the light and refreshed feeling it brings to you. If today you're interested in rearranging a drawer or cleaning a window pane, just do it. You'll see yourself truly awesome and this life much more pleasant when everything is put in its right place. You're doing an extremely kind thing for yourself,